This is the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast.
So good. So hotness. So hotness. Welcome into the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast, episode 32. Lou, you want to... Yeah?
Hey, how you doing, everyone? Aren't you going to introduce us?
No, I just figured you were just going to, go into the whole new jingle thing.
Oh, yeah.
By now, they've already heard it, and you just ruined it.
Yeah, but we didn't hear it. For those who don't know how we do this, yeah, we don't actually hear the jingle. But if you're listening to this, then you did hear the jingle, and if you want to compare it to the last one, go ahead. That's a product of Courtney bitching and moaning on like 5 different chat rooms for like a week or 2 straight, and eventually one of our writers, Dustin LaRoe, just was sick of it and was like, "Here you go. Do you know what? I'm just gonna give you something, and
shut the
this
hell
is what
up,
you have
Courtney."
to use." And then after looking at it, I kind of don't really know how to do audio programs or Audacity, but that's what we came up with, and I'm proud of it. I am. Though the original version, instead of having a Nintendo power-up thing, it was Satoru Iwata saying, "Please understand."
I mean, that was funny, but it was hard to understand what it was. Like I had to ask you, which means that other people will have to ask you as well. And so I was like, we can't really go with that because it's not obvious enough, even though it should be. But yeah.
Please understand.
Please understand. No, I mean, so everybody who's listened to it, let us know what you think about it. So comment on the story or whatever, or tweet at us and everything like that. I'm really happy with it. I think it's awesome. So, Brendan, have you got to
better or
Nope.
worse?
I'm gonna listen to it tomorrow.
Brendan hasn't listened to it yet, even though we sent it to everybody. Okay, well,
I'm sorry that when I come back from class after a few hours and I see 100 plus messages, I don't go through every single one of them.
Hey, you should. You should catch up on everything. It was actually in the announcements threads, which normally there's not 100. But
Yeah, Brendan was actually in the announcement thread. God.
2 of them, but whatever. Okay, so let's move on. Yeah, so it's me and Brendan and Lou. So yeah you've already heard us all talk.
Crew.
The normal ones. Yeah. So let's get into the news from nowhere, I guess. So skip on past everyone's least favorite part of the podcast where we talk about
Courtney's interesting dream section.
Yeah, my interesting dreams. Which I had one where I almost died in a dam crash the other day, like a dam. Yeah, there's like a giant tidal wave was coming at us, and I was in a dam, and I was trying to get out of the building, and I woke up. So that happened.
Is that called a dam crash?
Well, I don't know. I was just rolling with words. I don't speak English very well.
All right. Anyway, let's move on to the news from nowhere.
News from nowhere. Okay, so
that's the next jingle we're coming up with, guys.
Oh no, we are not doing segue jingles. Not happening. I am not okay with that. I am not going to edit the podcast and have to find each spot to insert a jingle. Plus, I know the majority of the Podcast Unlocked listeners hate the Podcast Unlocked jingle thing, so I'm not doing that. No.
There's a podcast. I haven't listened to podcasts.
Yeah, Podcast Unlocked started episode 60, where they started doing segue jingles.
I like that stuff.
And they're just...
Then you know what's going to happen.
Yeah, or you could just listen to them say it, and you know what's going to happen.
Okay.
Anyways.
Anyway, can I just amend the anything worth happening? Kind of goes into the news section.
Yeah, go ahead.
Speaking of Podcast Unlocked, last night there was a really cool thing that happened on Podcast Unlocked, and it branched out to the other podcasts for IGN, Podcast Beyond, and NVC, where a lot of us middle of nowhere gaming folk take a large presence. We love IGN. We love the IGN community. What happened was some father went on Unlocked and was saying, hey guys, I know it's just me bitching and moaning. It's kind of a grief story, but I just wanted to share this with everyone. I'm a little bit in a shitty mood because my son, who saved up for a year to get an Xbox One and worked hard and doesn't really have a salary, he's like 13, 14, 15 years old, All those ages, all those ages combined.
All of them. Whatever. Pick one.
Anyway, he was staying at his mother's house, who was the guy's ex-wife, and his new home got broken into, and the Xbox One was stolen. No one was hurt, but that kind of sucks. It was the kid's first console he ever saved up for, and just taken away from him after months of saving. So
fucking podcast Santa Claus came to the rescue.
Exactly. The Podcast Unlock group, along with the other groups, made went to a fundraising site, like a donation site, kind of like Kickstarter, except you don't get anything fun back for it. And they set up a goal for like $550, and they said, "Hey, let's see if we can just donate some money to get this kid a new Xbox and show him that there are some good people, and the gaming community is always really welcoming." And within 5 hours, they'd already met that $550. By the time the father and I assume the kid woke up this morning, he had already essentially had the Xbox One paid off for him. And I thought it was really cool. I think that I love stories like that where the gaming community comes together to help someone out.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's that was really awesome, and sad that I didn't take a part in. I wish I could. I wish I had the money to be able to help out with something like this, because these are stories that everybody wants to be a part of. Now, if we could just start a fund to get me a Wii U.
Oh, that's next. Just say someone broke into your house.
Yeah, somebody broke into my apartment and totally stole my Wii U, guys. I need one.
All right.
So anyways, let's move on.
Somebody broke into my dorm room and took my bigger apartment.
Took your bigger apartment and my car that was in my dorm room.
My Lamborghini, yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, my new Bugatti
just fucking disappeared. And my time machine, it's gone too. That's worth everything. Whatever. Okay, so number one on the news. Call of Duty Advanced Warfare was revealed by Activision in a trailer. So the trailer showed off that Kevin Spacey's going to be in it, and everybody nowadays knows Kevin Spacey from House of Cards, so that's pretty fucking cool. I nearly pre-ordered the game right when I saw that.
It was a really good trailer.
Yeah, it was also a very good trailer. The trailer showed off things like exoskeleton armor suits, invisible helicopters, invisibility cloaks, hovercrafts, hover bikes, and gloves that let you climb walls, and like walking tanks that use railguns. So like all kinds of this like futuristic shit. But
wait, walking tanks that use railguns?
Yeah,
isn't
like
that Metal Gear.
See, I don't know. The tanks, like, they had the wheels type thing, that a tank would have, but they kind of like waddled along. I don't know. It was I don't remember.
Don't forget the obligatory like driving scene they had first person in the small vehicle.
They ripped that directly from Metal Gear, because the definition of what a Metal Gear is supposed to be a walking tank with nuclear capabilities based off of a railgun. But yeah, I like it. I think that's a cool addition. I'm down for it.
Oh yeah.
They should just have Snake in there climbing up.
Snake. It's being developed by Sledgehammer Games. They previously worked on Modern Warfare 3 with Infinity Ward, I think. I'm getting all my Call of Duty stuff mixed up now. There's too many things going on in it. But this is going to be their first title in the Call of Duty franchise they've developed by themselves. And it's set for release on all platforms, rumored to be all platforms on November 4th later this year. It wasn't confirmed that like it was going to be on PS3 and Xbox 360, but apparently Amazon has pre-orders available for it, so everyone's like, okay, well, it's on all platforms then. So take it as you will. I don't know. Every single year I say that I'm over Call of Duty and that I'm not going to go back to it, and they find a way to pull me back in. And this year they did it with not only Kevin Spacey, but like the futuristic stuff they're putting into this game isn't so far out there that, it's like Killzone or something like that. It's literally, it could be, 8 years down the road kind of thing where we do have this kind of stuff. So I don't know. I'm pretty stoked about it. And what about you, Lou, since you're just now diving into first person shooters?
I I actually still haven't watched the trailer because I'm not interested in first-person shooters. But I've been considering, if I'm going to get a game eventually, like if I'm going to sink that $60 in, because right now I've been using free-to-play first-person shooters. It might be this next one. This may be the one that I just finally sink some money into.
Yeah, it's Destiny and Call of Duty Advanced Warfare look to be the best upcoming first-person shooters, in my opinion. So both of them are going to be solid, I think.
All right, can I segue?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay, speaking of games that come out every year with very little changes, Nintendo has officially revealed that Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire are in development for the 3DS. A trailer was released by the Pokemon company's Twitter, along with a video that revealed the box arts, and that's really all we have so far. It's not even the official box arts, the tentative box arts. But yeah, that's the big news for today, and it is big news. It's still the most-selling franchise, or one of the most-selling franchises for Nintendo, especially for Nintendo handhelds.
Yeah, I don't doubt it that it's probably number one on handhelds.
Also, Sapphire and Ruby are much beloved.
Sapphire was, oh god, it's still one of my all-time favorite games. I loved Sapphire, but I can't get over this naming scheme, Omega and Alpha. I don't know if I'm okay with that yet.
I don't understand why everyone says it in that order. I said in this order because I was reading it from the outline that we have. But why not Alpha and Omega? Like, why not say it like that? Alpha, Sapphire, and Omega Ruby.
And the end? Well,
that just makes sense logically. And then alphabetically, not with Ruby and Sapphire.
I get that it makes sense that way.
Yes, it makes sense alphabetically. Omega's the last in the alphabet.
No, I meant with the Ruby Sapphire. It's always been Ruby Sapphire, not Sapphire Ruby.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's always been Ruby and Sapphire. It's never been the other way around, and so that's probably why it was released this way. Ruby was the flagship one, while Sapphire was the off one, something like that. But I don't know. I love Sapphire, and if I had a 3DS, or if I have one when this comes out, you could guarantee I'm going to pick this up.
Get one just for Mario Golf. I need people to play with when I eventually get it.
Well, when you eventually get it and you buy me a 3DS, and it also, I will play it with you.
Killing me.
I know, man. I'm sorry. I just looked at my bank account yesterday and about cried, or this morning. It was a really bad moment.
I've been subsisting off of trail mix, so I get it. I get it. The gaming budget is my food budget.
I bought 5 bags of Doritos last Friday, and I've been living off of it since then. So that's cool.
All right, so
another segue. We just talked about Destiny a minute ago. Destiny will be getting a public beta this July. I saw a lot of people talking about it being June. Now that may be a closed beta, but this will be an open beta. There's no news on which consoles this will be on or when exactly in July it's going to be. I assume that there's going to be more information revealed at E3. Since E3 will be in June, it'll be just a few weeks away. But yeah, I know there are a lot of people who are anxious to get their hands on this game, test it out, and tell the world about it. And I can't wait to see what everybody says about it. I'm not going to play the beta. I'll wait till it comes out. But this is good.
Wasn't maybe what it is that didn't PlayStation get first rights to the beta?
Yes.
Maybe PlayStation is in June and everyone else has July.
That could be it. It also could just be PlayStation in July, or at least a week. It could be July 14th, PlayStation 4, July 21st, Xbox One. It could be something like that. So,
all right.
I don't know. Are you gonna get into the beta? Because I know that would be a free first-person shooter.
That would. Do you have to buy a game to get into it? I really don't know.
See, there are no details yet. I'm like I said, I assume in E3 we're going to hear all about it. So,
right, because I'm not a person who would buy a game to get a beta of another game, unless it's something like if it was Smash Bros. I know that I'm going to like it no matter what.
Yeah.
Destiny, I'd rather wait for the review copy or wait for the review itself to know whether I should put my money down for it. Especially because it's a genre that I don't necessarily enjoy.
So then, now we swing to Brendan. Brendan, Bungie comes out and says, free to download Destiny beta on Xbox 360. Are you jumping on that, and are you playing it that weekend?
You had me at free.
Free? I knew that was going to be the case. So are you going to be jumping into this if it's on 360? Yeah.
Why would I not want to try to play Destiny?
Yeah, exactly. I know you're a Bungie fan, so this is going to be a huge release. I don't think we have it listed on here, but I don't remember verbatim, but didn't Activision or somebody come out and say that they're putting $500 million in development and marketing for Destiny?
Yeah, it was big news.
Holy shit! Like I didn't throw that up there, but yeah.
Yeah, that beats out most Hollywood advertising budgets, let alone gaming. It's completely unheard of, but the rationale behind it, of course, is they're trying to build a franchise.
Yep.
They're not going to make that money back, most likely, by this game. There's a chance they may, but it's unlikely. What it's trying to aim for is the Skylanders bucks or the Call of Duty bucks. The stuff that they could re-release a game every year, and it's the big shit.
Well, I mean, part of this news, if I remember correctly, was that Bungie has been planning all along for Destiny to be a 10-year game. Which I don't know if that means they're going to consistently update it, or if that means that there's going to be a Destiny 2 in 2 years, and then a Destiny 3, in 4 years, and stuff like that, and it goes for 10 years. Now, it may be something like Halo, because they had Halo for about 10 years, didn't they? Before they gave it up to 343?
Maybe, from what I read online, I'm not sure if it was just people misinterpreting it wrong, but it sounded like they were going to be delivering 10 years of unique content and like daily challenges or something. But
God.
Yeah, if that's the case, that's ridiculous for ridiculously good in the best ways possible. Like that's a hell of investment. But
you think of guys that get bored doing the same thing at work every day. Can you imagine just making daily content for Destiny for 10 years?
Let's just do another raid. Yeah, we'll add a new hat on this guy.
We're gonna put a fucking sniper rifle guy on this rock over here, and it's totally gonna catch everybody off guard. This is gonna be fucking hilarious.
Tomorrow we're gonna put him in front of the rock.
You'll start seeing stuff like maps named "Fuck It." Yeah, it's just an empty room.
Cinco de Mayo. We're gonna give everybody sombreros today. Oh man.
All right.
Okay.
Let's move on to the next one.
Brendan, you want to cover number 4? Oh, wow. Okay, you're going to die? Okay.
Yeah, my throat is...
All right.
This has been happening for the past few weeks, but...
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite, new title, Shaq Fu 2, has reached its funding goal.
Shaq Fu 2.
It turns out that Shaquille O'Neal went beyond his acting career and decided to make a game. Apparently, it gained, its funding goal of, $450,000. And... yeah, it's when is it coming out?
There's no announcement on that yet.
Oh, but it's apparently kind of like Street Fighter, at least in the visuals. Big D's production is going to get it, or is going to develop it, which actually has some people that came over from Halo and Final Fantasy.
That's, promising on the developers that are being in it, or that are working on it, but I'm not sure Shaq Fu 2 will ever be a great thing. Shaq Fu is not a great thing. So
come on, give him a break. He made Space Jam.
What?
Wait, what?
No,
wait, was that Shaq?
That was not Shaq.
That was Michael Jordan.
That was Michael Jordan.
Whatever. I don't watch basketball. You guys are the basketball people.
Yeah, you're closer to it geographically.
Shaq may have been one of the Monstars. Yeah? Yeah? No? Brendan nodded at me, so I'll take that. Okay. So, yeah, you gonna pick it up? You gonna pick up Shaq Fu 2?
No.
you gonna do some brawlers?
No.
Further reference, Shaq Fu the original isn't a recent game. It came out on on the Sega Mega Drive, 1994, Super Nintendo. 90s. Yeah, Game Boy original. It's one of those that was the throwaway third-party games that you'd get back then.
A game that you would imagine you would find in the Atari landfill.
I really know. Hasn't there been some speculation that Space Jam 2 is going to feature Shaquille O'Neal?
No, that would be LeBron James.
Oh, have they said that?
Yeah.
Oh dang! I thought it was
If it was gonna be happening, it would be LeBron James, not Shaq. Shaq's past his prime, bro. He retired a few years back. I don't think he could.
So did Michael Jordan.
Well,
in
yeah,
Space
but
Jam.
He was still a player though, and he was still young.
I'm looking at this up.
Anyways, we are way off topic, and nobody cares about Shaq Fu 2.
I don't care about Shaq
other
Fu
than our writer Sean, I believe.
He is very adamant about.
He's excited.
Yeah. All right.
So Sean, that was for you. Go on, Lou. Number 5.
All right. Well, we haven't brought up Naughty Dog, so this is our weekly Naughty Dog section. Assassin's Creed 3 animation director Jonathan Cooper has officially joined Naughty Dog. As spotted by Game Informer on Cooper's LinkedIn account, it shows that he's moved over to Naughty Dog and his position has been listed as an animator.
Okay, so that is one bright spot in a giant black hole of news regarding Naughty Dog. But
yeah,
sorry, go on.
Yeah, I like seeing good news about Naughty Dog. It's interesting that they're filling the team with more good people. I wonder how much of this was them actually needing an animator versus them actually, wanting to have some good press. I'm guessing not so much for the good press, seeing how it was just spotted on a LinkedIn profile. But yeah, I think it's good to see that they're starting to fill their ranks again.
Is it kind of like what Courtney said about like them losing so many people? If it's just like naturally in the gaming industry, people are just moving from IPs.
Yeah, I mean it could be. Now, I'm trying to find how bright of a spot is this? It's obviously it's good news in a sense, but an animator for Assassin's Creed going to Naughty Dog, so presumably going to be working on Uncharted. That's what everybody would assume, because Uncharted has scaling of walls and stuff like that, and so does Assassin's Creed. So do you think that would make the scaling and the running and climbing and all that stuff better in the next Uncharted?
Well, he's not in charge of gameplay. He's just in charge of the animation behind it. Actually, I think he's going to be having a small learning curve, because the animation is mostly based off of mocap. So I'm sure that his talent is going to be fundamental. However, there's a lot of new processes that he's going to have to go to as compared to Ubisoft development.
Yeah, and oh balls! I totally just spaced.
It's my hypnotic voice.
Okay. He's not listed as the head animator or anything like that, because he was the animator director on Assassin's Creed 3. He was the head guy, and now he's just animator for Naughty Dog, which is interesting. Yeah. It may be what you said. It has to do with the learning curve. It may be that he just needed a new job, or he got fired, or it could be any number of things. But regardless, it's good news for Naughty Dog. They have a new guy and a name that people are familiar with. So,
are they familiar with it?
I've heard the name, but okay. I'm also an Assassin's Creed fan. So people who play Assassin's Creed may know of him, but other people may not. But now they do, obviously.
Right.
Big news. Naughty Dog. Anytime Naughty Dog's up there.
Okay.
Number 6 on the news. Microsoft is set to reveal both new IPs and new sequels at their E3 press conference. The press conference is going to take place on June 9th at 12:30 p.m. Eastern. Major Nelson said on his blog, during the briefing, you'll be treated to everything from in-depth looks at previously announced games to trailers for our unannounced games coming in 2014 and beyond. Beyond, haha. And then new head of Xbox, Phil Spencer, later confirmed on his Twitter in a reply to a fan's question, and he said directly that yes, we will be revealing both new IP and new sequels. So yeah, that's really good news. Based on the past month, ever since Phil Spencer has taken over, there's been nothing but good news coming out of Microsoft's camp. I've heard nothing negative lately. So, or you can't really say positive either, but it's all promising. Of course I'm not an Xbox One gamer. I plan to be eventually. I have my PlayStation 4 and I love it. But, if they can come out and reveal new IPs that appeal to me, or new sequels to games that didn't get sequels during the last generation, that we've all wanted or something, they could definitely reel me in to spending the last bit of my bank account on an Xbox One before the year is over.
What games are those for you? I mean, not for the new IP because those are new, but
new sequel, Fable, a new Fable.
Okay,
that would immediately reel me in.
I was trying to think: are there any real sequel IPs that that Microsoft does besides Halo that anyone really cares about anymore?
Gears of War. We'll get a Gears of War announcement. I guarantee it.
I said people care about.
Yeah, see, I don't care about Gears of War, but I know there are a lot of people who do. I'm sure we're going to get a Gears of War announcement. We're going to get a Fable announcement. We're going to get another Halo announcement. Maybe we're going to get 2 Halo announcements. Maybe it's going to be Halo Wars 2. Nobody will care, but it'll happen, But
right.
I really hope that we get some new IP that are just way, way out there. Like The Order, for PlayStation. Something that just looks really, really fucking cool.
Right. I mean, I would love to see that. I'm a person who buys consoles based off exclusives.
Yep.
And if they can show me stuff that I want to play and I'm going to like one of my biggest reasons for getting Xbox One, if I get one, is still to this day going to be Killer Instinct.
Oh, God.
Because I think it looks like a fighting game I could enjoy. I used to love it on the Nintendo platforms that I had. And, I'd love to pick that up. So that's going to be my choice because so far PlayStation 4 runs everything better.
Brendan, our resident Xbox gamer who doesn't buy anything because he doesn't have money to. Okay, say you're given as much money as you want. You have an Xbox One now. What game are you dying for them to announce? What sequel or what kind of new IP would definitely make you buy it?
New IP?
New IP, new game, or a new sequel.
Well, I can't really name a new game.
Yeah, I know, but like I said,
he wants
mine
his
was the Order, a historical or an alternate history game. Something just crazy awesome sounding.
Brendan wants his new musical first-person shooter.
He wants Star Wall. He wants Star Wall on the Xbox One.
But as an FPS.
Yeah, as an FPS.
Wait, can it be an RPG?
Yes, there we go. Get to be a space narwhal in an RPG, leveling up your horn power.
Elder Scrolls 6 Star Wall.
Elder
Can you
Scrolls
imagine
6.
it?
So, are there any exclusives on Microsoft's camp that you really, really want?
Just
of
course Halo, but
well, yeah, but we know there's a Halo coming. Is there another exclusive other Fable?
Yes. Okay. Fable.
So, do you want a Fable 4,
yes.
or do you want a Fable MMO on Xbox One? There's rumors about that still.
Yeah, but I kind of don't want to play Fable as an MMO.
I don't either. I would much rather have just a solid single-player Fable 4.
Yeah,
that would definitely reel me in. I love Fable.
That would do it for me. Yes.
Now, okay, so are you a Fable 2 or a Fable 3 fan? More? 2 or 3?
I'm a fan of both of them for different reasons.
Yeah, obviously. So do you want it to be, which one would you rather be more like?
Probably Fable 2.
Fable 2? Yeah. Fable 2 was solid.
Yeah, the weapon system was a lot better than just having a bunch of named ones, I think.
You think?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm, yes.
All right. Well, Brendan, you want to cover number 7? Dear God, Brendan.
So
I'd be surprised if we still have listeners.
Yeah, I would too. Thank you for killing everybody.
Thank you to everyone who's still listening.
Okay, you can. Okay, fine.
Go on.
What time is this? 45.
No, that's not it. Go on.
Okay, so you can edit that up. EA announced its year-end financial earnings for quarter 2 of the fiscal year.
Yeah. No. It was the end of the fiscal year. The fiscal year ended March 31st.
Okay. And it'll be revealing a new game at E3. I think they found their total earnings to be 1.75 billion.
Yeah, it was something huge.
They might be a terrible company, but geez.
Well, they have a shitload of huge franchises. Yeah. So
all of them.
So yeah, they're gonna reveal one game set to release later this year, right?
Yes.
But nobody knows what it is. It's not gonna be Need for Speed, right? Is that what we talked? Was it Need for Speed? Or wait, what was it? What was the racing game we were talking about? It was Gran Turismo, and is that it? No, I don't fucking remember.
No, Gran Turismo. I think it was Need for Speed.
It was Need for Speed, yeah. They said there's not going to be a Need for Speed this year.
Or was it Burnout?
No, it's not Burnout. It's Need for Speed. I don't even remember. Did you get to that part?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh,
so,
no, I didn't.
No, you didn't? Oh.
They also announced that they'll reveal about 6 other games at E3.
Yeah, so that was a little bit downer. I'm really hoping we get to see new Star Wars stuff. Visceral Games' new Star Wars game that Amy Hennig is working on. Like, that is the game I am most excited about coming from EA. And we're still probably 2-3 years out from that, maybe longer. But if they can give us some awesome, teaser trailer, for instance, Uncharted PS4's trailer, last year, just some voiceover on a map or something with some images behind it or something, just teasing us like, oh man, that'll get me so excited.
Well, it's kind of screw the Star Wars universe, because they have now 2,000 years of a gap to make a game between the known Star Wars universe now.
Yeah.
So they can do literally anything they wanted right now.
I know, it's wide open, and Lou's sitting over here probably falling asleep because
I actually caught up a little bit on Star Wars news this week.
Oh, you did?
Not necessarily anything to do with the story, but I read the news piece around saying that they claimed that the Star Wars part of the Star Wars universe was not canon anymore, and it was a large part.
The lore master will be very disappointed.
I don't remember which one that was. I read that story also, and I just can't remember it at all.
Wait, I'll look it up. It was a pretty big one. The expanded universe, they had the book sets and it really was the main drive for Star Wars for a long time in between the gap of the movies, and a lot of what Lucas took for some of the newer movies came from this lore. So kind of it makes a little muddled, hazy mess of what's actually included now, because it was originally said that it was canon. Disney decided to uncanonize it. And yeah, apparently a lot of people are upset about it, and I would be too if you sunk a ton of money into it and have been going to these conventions and, or are the lore master. If you're the lore master, I'd be shooting people.
Well, if you're the lore master, maybe at that point you'd be happy, because that's 2,000 years I don't have to remember.
Yeah, but it's Colin Moriarty from IGN was on the Game Over Greggy show and talking about it, and he said, I am totally caught up with the expanded universe. I have a bachelor's degree knowledge in the expanded universe because of how invested I am into it, and now I don't have that anymore. It's not relevant.
So, okay, that's the end of Star Wars talk this week.
What about talking about the new cast list for Episode 7?
No.
We're not going to get into that. Aww. But before we move on to our topic of the week, I figured we should give a little shout out or talk about the reviews that went up this week. This week has been a huge week for us at Middle Nowhere Gaming and putting up reviews. Because, let's see, Lou, you had one review up already, right?
Right, and I have to have another one done by the end of the week. I'm going to be doing Strike Suit Zero. The one that I did do was Blacklight Retribution, the free-to-play PS4 FPS, which I mentioned earlier, and I liked it.
Yeah, I was going to say, you want to give us a little hint into your review?
Yeah, go read it. I said it was a broken free-to-play free-for-all. If you have a high tolerance for, occasional or more than occasional game crashes, it's a fun game that you could just sit down and sink some time into and get a couple of rounds in, and it's fun. It's not overly difficult for a learning curve. I would recommend doing it, especially because it's free and you'd have nothing to lose.
Now, can you give us a preview into Strike Suit Zero? Do you have any? You don't have to give a lot since it's not out yet, but you want to give us a little preview?
I also have enjoyed my time with Strike Suit Zero. I'm not a good dog fighting, plane slash spaceship simulator kind of person. It was a difficult game for me to get into, but it's by no means bad. I think that if you're looking to sink some money into a game and you like Star Fox or you like Rogue Squadron, and that's your type of stuff, you could go worse than Strike Suit Zero.
Yeah. And what was I going to say? We also had Child of Light. Our review for Child of Light went up by our one of our writers, Ryan. Go check that out, obviously. It was released last week, I believe, right? Last Tuesday?
That sounds right.
Yeah, and he really liked it. Apparently, which is apparently the majority of everyone who's played it has said the same thing, that it's charming and it's short, it's fun, it's addicting. Many people are saying it's already Game of the Year, which, it's only May, so we can't really go into that. But go read that review. Today I had Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc go up, or my review for it go up. A little preview into it. Very much a visual novel. Not a lot of gameplay. It's a fun story, crazy story.
Can we say it like Greg does? Danganronpa.
Danganronpa. It was a fun game. It's not really for me. It didn't really appeal to me. I'm not the kind of person who wants to sit down on my Vita for 3 hours and read.
Courtney doesn't know how to read.
I want to play a game, not just read. If I'm going to read, I want to read a book, or if I want to do that, or if I want to watch a TV show, I want to watch a TV show. I want to interact with it more than it allowed me to. So it's occurred to me that I'm not a visual novel fan, but that's not a big deal because it was still a good story. It was still a good game. But check that out. And then on Friday, if the embargo date actually still stands, look out for my Bound by Flame review. We had a question asking me to give my initial thoughts on it or whatever. Very fun. That's all I want to say.
Keep it short for the embargo.
Yeah, it's fun. So look out on Friday for the review. Hopefully, if everything goes well, there'll be a video review on it as well, or also. So check that out. And I think that's all of our reviews this week, right? That's 5 of them that'll be this week. Or did we have another one? I don't.
Was Trials this week? Trials Fusion?
I think that was the end of last week. But then again, not sure. It's been a busy few weeks now. Yeah, that's all the reviews that we had go up this week so far, or that will go up this week. Okay, so let's move into our topic of the week. Earlier today, I believe it broke on DualShockers.com. I didn't see a source anywhere else, but it broke that there was a source that gave them information about what Sony's E3 press conference is going to be, or going to include. And oh man, it's got like 15 or so bullet points of all the different first parties and the games they're developing and stuff like that, and information. So I'm sure most of you who are listening to this are diehard fans enough to already have seen this or discussed it on Podcast Beyond's page or on Locke's page or wherever you're gonna talk about it. So we're not gonna go into all of the details about it, but we're gonna talk about it and bring up a few things. One thing we should talk about is it says Uncharted is gonna have a in-engine footage 3-minute trailer, and it's going to reveal the release date is next summer. Not this summer, but next summer, 2015. We've talked a lot about that, about the release date for Uncharted. Lou, do you think that they can hit summer 2015, or do you still think that they may push
No
it
chance.
back? Yeah,
no chance.
I don't either. I don't see it coming out that soon. That's too soon.
I think they were speculating this on a couple other podcasts. I think Podcast Beyond was the one I was listening to more intently. But they said that the fact that they're hiring a new voice person for a villain, that the role's been recast, and that they're bringing in all these new people, it makes it sound a lot more like
it's been rebooted.
Yeah, like it's just a reboot. There was 2 teams that were there, and one person said, "Let's do this story," and the other group said, "I want to do this story," and the team who was leading it got fired or left or did this or that. So I think, while the game's in development, I think there's no way it's hitting summer 2015. I'm going to say it's at least 2016.
Yeah, see, it was revealed back in February or March whenever Amy Hennig left, that what was it? Bruce Staley and what's his face? The other Naughty Dog guy. I am totally spacing. It was revealed that they were going to take over the creative lead of the next Uncharted. But if that's the case, they were also creative lead on The Last of Us. So they would have literally had to start it right when The Last of Us was done in order to hit a 2015 summer release date. And that doesn't take into account the DLC that they made for The Last of Us either. And so it's just like, I don't see any way that it's coming that soon. And the more I think about it and the more news that comes out about it, the more I think that you're probably right, and it's slipping into 2016. Spring at the earliest, most likely fall.
Right.
Well, that's sad.
That is sad. And then whenever Lou was looking at these leaks earlier, he got to the second bullet point, and he's like, Media Molecule. Man, I hate Media Molecule.
I do hate Media Molecule. I haven't played Tearaway was them, right?
Yeah, Tearaway was them.
I haven't played Tearaway. I might like Tearaway.
I think you will. It's really charming.
Based off of Little Big Planet, I think Little Big Planet's like the worst platform I've ever played.
Yeah.
There's something to be said about user content and the fact that people can craft these cool levels, but after playing Mario and playing Donkey Kong, like it feels like shit to jump. It feels weighted down, and it's a miserable platform to go through.
Yeah, I'm. Brendan's over here like giving me a stare down whenever I said that it was garbage. Are you a Little Big Planet fan, or?
I mean, I played it a few times. I didn't have a terrible time, but I think it's cool that the majority of the game is like user created content that you can like. And some people have done like really awesome stuff, like they've created like Ocarina of Time, completely through Little Big Planet.
Now, see,
stuff like that.
I agree that it's very cool. It's a very cool idea. It's very creative, and that there are certain people that will love that game and that will follow it and that will make all kinds of awesome content. I and apparently Lou, we are not one of those people.
Well, no, I will let them. Like, I think it's really cool to have user created content, and I'd be the person to go and like explore some of the better ones after I would be looking online. The thing is, it's not hard. I mean, it probably is hard, but it's not like uncommon to have a good platformer. I mean, Sonic, you could argue, is decent. Rayman is fantastic now. I mean, how hard is it to get jump physics right in a platformer?
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, that's my main issue. I don't mind the game as it is. I just think like playing it just feels bad.
Now, but okay, so this leak, however, says that they're developing a new title, and it will be a landmark title for Morpheus, which is the virtual reality headset for the PlayStation. And it will include 3D world building, beautiful, quirky visuals, extremely creative and fun, blah, blah, blah. Now, would you be into that? Using virtual reality and creating a 3D world and exploring it and stuff like that, like making almost a Little Big Planet game, but virtual reality.
Matters how much of a game it is necessarily. I don't know. I think it's a cool idea. Like, even if it's just a thing where you craft a world and you could like walk around in it and share it with people, like people who could build the Temple of Time from Zelda, and then you could go and explore it. Like, I just don't know what the game element's going to be. I think it's a cool idea, but I don't know. I would need details.
Why would you want to spend time in the Temple of Time? It's such a small temple, Lou.
I'd like to explore it.
All 5 feet of it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's cool.
I mean, at least he'd be able to stay in his room, walk into all the walls. Yeah, you see, because virtual reality doesn't mean you could literally walk through your walls. You have to stay in the place you're in.
Well, it'd be really scary if you walked out into Hyrule during the zombie place,
Oh,
and the
fuck
zombie
that.
jumped on your on your head while you're in the Morpheus.
Oh man. Okay, so let's move along with some of these. Gran Turismo 6. I don't care. Do you guys care?
Nope.
No.
Fuck it. We're moving on. God of War 4 teaser.
Who plays that game? Is that
wish
even a thing?
I just wish they would cancel God of War. I'm so sick of God of War now. Way too
It was
many of them.
it was fine as a trilogy. It was
Yeah.
I could deal with that. It's done now.
It was fine on PS2, and then when it got its one sequel on PS3 and it looked beautiful, and we've got the 5th straight exact same storyline, I was like, okay, I'm done. You know, it looked great, but I was like, I'm checked out of this one. Fuck it. So I don't really care. But it says that it's going to be revealed to offset Gears of War on Microsoft's point, and a date won't be announced, but it'll be sometime like late 2015. Now, one of the big things on here was that Kill Strain, which was trademarked by Sony a few.
You're pronouncing it wrong. Remember?
Oh wait, how did we do
Kill
it?
Strain!
Yeah, I was gonna say, didn't we scream it? It was trademarked by Sony, like, I don't know, like a month ago, a few weeks ago. And as several people have expected, but this thing says that it's related to Siphon Filter, so it'll be the next Sony Bend game. Doesn't exactly say much about it, but other than that it will be released this winter, which is very soon if they're just now going to announce it at E3. There's not a lot of games do that. Announce it the year they come out or just a few months before they come out. So that'll be interesting, see if that comes true. I didn't play the Siphon Filter games, so I don't really care.
Do you want to know why that link exists?
What link?
Why people think that it's Kill Strain,
Go ahead.
and Siphon Filter, why they think that it's the same thing.
Why?
Because I played a little bit of Siphon Filter, especially on the PlayStation 1, but one of the plot points to at least Siphon Filter 2 was there was something known as the Omega Strain. So, in fact, the name of it was Siphon Filter, the Omega Strain. So the idea is that's kind of similar. Kill Strain, Omega Strain, they might have something to do with it.
So are you interested in this at all? Or do you think it might be true? Or
I think it has a chance of being true. I don't know too many people have actually played Siphon Filter at this point. Like, even then it was kind of a small, not a smaller game, but definitely not like a Final Fantasy or a Crash Bandicoot. I think that, it could happen, but it's going to probably have the same kind of following that Splinter Cell has. It's not one of the biggest games out there, but it exists.
okay. There are several other random announcements on here. Let's hit up the 2 or 3 more big ones. One of them is that Ready at Dawn is going to reveal that The Order 1886 is going to be a fall 2014 title.
No.
Which I completely and utterly, I could not disagree more with it. I've been saying since, I don't know, December, I believe, that I think it's going to be a 2015 title. So, and you're in that same camp, right? You believe it too?
Yeah, I think that just makes sense from what I've heard about people who've tried out the demos. Wasn't that one of your predictions?
Yeah, it was one of my predictions for 2014. So, I mean, as much as I don't want it to be true, I would love for it to come out this fall and be an awesome game and not need any delays or anything like that. I just don't see it happening. We haven't seen enough, and it didn't look good enough to all, behind closed door previews, and it's just, I don't know. It just looks like it's trending towards next year. Another one, the one that really stood out to me was it says that Guerrilla Games is bringing their RPG to E3. It'll be a provocative setting, very interesting, insane visuals as usual. Good reaction to the titles expected, will please the hardcore. Am I the only one that didn't know that they were developing an RPG?
Yeah, you're the only one.
God, I don't know how I didn't know that. Like,
they didn't they pick up some big story director for, like, I want to say Dragon Age, maybe?
No, see, I knew that happened. I knew that they picked up a person who had worked on RPGs, stories, and stuff like that. But I didn't know that they were actually developing an RPG. I thought they might be adding some kind of story element that into their next Killzone
we don't
game
have
or something.
We don't have any clue what exactly they're doing. Everyone's just speculating that it's going to be an RPG.
Oh, okay. Well,
So don't worry, no one knows what Guerrilla is doing at the moment. We're hoping they do something new because we want to see that.
yeah.
But yeah, we're not sure.
And then the final really big one is that Sony Japan Studios is debuting 2, maybe even 3 titles, it says. Project Beast is one of them, which the internet has been going wild over the past week or two. A lot of pictures were released, or supposedly leaked from it. And it's supposedly the spiritual successor to Demon Souls. It looks really fucking cool. And then the other one is that The Last Guardian.
How does that count as a new title?
See, I don't.
That is
think
the
so.
oldest title.
But I know, right? The oldest PlayStation title ever, really. But it's been retooled for PS4 apparently, and will be possibly released this winter. And that's another one that I just could not disagree with more. Like, I don't see them announcing it at E3 and being like, "Hey, you can pick this up in 4 months." Like, it seems like that's one thing that they would want to try to get right this time and advertise it correctly. And, once they have a solid release date, March 2015 or something like that, they're going to start at E3 and start pushing hardcore to advertise for it. But I don't know. Do you even think it's still coming? We've had this talk. Do you still think it's coming?
I think it's coming. I think they wouldn't still be talking about it, like Sony themselves and developers wouldn't be
talked about it several times.
Yeah, like it would be weird of them to continue the discussion. Like, I think they're a smart enough company that if it wasn't coming out, they would have buried it.
Yeah, and sorry, Brendan, we're just not including you in all this since it's Sony.
Well, I've never heard of any of these things.
Yeah,
so
exactly. He's like, oh man.
Like Demon Souls. Yep.
Yep. Racing games. I see some ninjas up there. Okay, so anyways.
The Last Guardian, that's about Jack Frost, right?
Yeah, there you go. So my biggest problem with all of these leaks is that it's so vague. They supposedly had somebody on the inside come forward and tell them all about this stuff, but they wouldn't name who they were, which is probably a good thing. But some of these descriptions are like, this could be related to that. This could be that, we don't know if it's this, but it sounds like it could be that. And it's like, that's not a leak. That's people just assuming things and writing it. Like, Twitter has blown up about this today, and Colin Moriarty has had some of the best tweets about it from IGN. I recommend going and looking up his Twitter, no taxation. But, and then, also, the best way I've seen this whole leak story just described is that it's an E3 fan fiction, which is what it sounds like, because all of these are huge announcements about beloved games and series and stuff like that. But none of them are guaranteed. None of them we even know are true. None of them could even be happening,
Right. My biggest issue when looking at all this was just that there's nothing new to this list. This is all stuff that if you follow gaming, you would instantly just know all of these stories for the most part, with the exception of like one small point that said that there's going to be a new title shrouded in secrecy. All of these things are stuff that I could come up with. I think that when Sony hits E3, there's going to be a lot of new announcements and a lot of things that we haven't even heard of before. Which is why I think, that this is kind of just someone sitting in their basement typing out a list of things he wants to see at E3.
This is my official reveal that I am actually the source. Everybody, Courtney Levi Osborne, blow up internet, blow up. Spread my name. I revealed all of this because I'm the mole at Sony. That would be fucking cool.
If they're gonna do this, can we also leak information about Fallout 4?
Yeah, there you go. But I mean, it wouldn't be Sony because this is all like first party stuff. But yeah, I also am at Bethesda and Fallout 4
console exclusive Wii U.
Yeah, no,
No,
fuck that.
it may be confirmed.
It may be confirmed. Who knows? It's probably a sequel to Fallout 3. We can't confirm, but
It
it
would
is.
take place in a futuristic wasteland.
Yes, yep. And it's going to be may or may not be released sometime in the next decade.
It's the spiritual successor to Fallout 3.
Yes, there you go. That's it. Sorry, I was mistaken. Okay. So, anyways, do you want to move on? I'm kind of over this story.
Yeah.
We're what, 5 weeks away from E3 now. We won't know about any of this until E3 arrives. So, I'm very much looking forward to the press conference. Because, if they come out and announce this stuff, it's going to be a really good conference. But like we were talking about earlier, and like you kind of mentioned a little bit ago, when we talked about it before the podcast, and like you mentioned, there was not anything new, nothing new that would really get us excited. Which both of us fully expect there to be several new titles that nobody's ever heard of, kind of like last year The Order was announced and stuff like that. So expect there to be, if this is true, expect there to be much more than just this, in my opinion. Nobody's going to say anything. Okay.
Well, I do think that a lot, while I think this is fake, and I'm going to say 99% sure it's fake, doesn't mean that everything on there is not true. I think a lot of things just are going to so happen to be right.
Yeah.
A lot of this stuff is believable. A lot of the stuff isn't believable. But I think there's totally a chance that there's going to be a 3-minute in-game engine video of Uncharted 4. But that's not because this person knows. It's because that's just how it's going to run, and people want to see that.
Yeah, and when you release a small trailer for the next Uncharted game back in December, why not release a lengthier trailer at E3? That would make sense. That is a solid bet. Why would Naughty Dog skip out on that?
Right. All right. So
let's move on. We have some. What?
We're going into the listeners' questions?
Yeah.
All right. Before we go into that, I want to, as a revisionary, go back and just issue an apology to Joseph McNeil from Nintendo Voice Chat. I accidentally said his name was Michael or something, maybe Joseph Michael or Michael Joseph. As an explanation, law school has such a heavy toll on me that I now have glasses prescribed. I've never had that since I was born, and had never had vision problems. And I think it's still okay for me to just walk around and do ordinary things like reading and driving without glasses, which doesn't actually work. So yeah, I completely missaid that. Sorry, that's all on me. The Lewis Sucks Twitter account, which is now deceased, was for you because I do suck.
Yeah, that was interesting. Wow, there was one that was hilarious. Was like Move Over Reggie or something like that? I don't remember.
Move over Reggie. I'm president of Nintendo now. Hashtag lawyered.
Oh yeah, hashtag lawyered. That made it perfect. Okay, so first question was from Kyle, who you may remember from, I believe, 2 episodes ago on our podcast. He was a guest. He just asked what are some of our E3 predictions. He said, on the doorstep of the absolutely phony Sony E3 list leaked today, in quotes, which I really like the way he described that. Fallout, I'm hoping for. We're all hoping for. There's going to be Uncharted,
I think that was on every single one of our,
E3 predictions. E3 predictions, exactly. Because we just had our E3 prediction piece last week, didn't we? That was our question of the week.
All right, let's have one prediction for each of the 3 companies.
Okay, for each of us?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to go first?
Let me think about it.
Oh, okay. Well, then let me go first. I'll come up with something off the top of my head. Okay, Sony's E3 prediction is going to be The Last of Us 2. I feel like if they announce that fandom is going to explode. You know, the internet's going to explode and be like, oh my god, which would then tie back to the picture that was released earlier this week of Ellie, like in her 20s maybe, playing the guitar. It was, you know, the artist behind that said it was fan art and stuff like that, but he also kind of teased that it could be about The Last of Us sequel. So that's going to be my Sony prediction. Microsoft is going to come out and say, we give up. We're selling Xbox as a franchise. We don't want it anymore. Sony's going to buy it. No, I think that Microsoft will come out and announce the next Fable game. See, I've got to go with the MMO. I want it to be Fable 4, but I'm going to say it's going to be the Fable MMO. You know, that could totally be wrong. You know, that may not ever happen, but that's what I'm going to go with. And then for Nintendo, let's see, something that something good. Okay, they just recently said that there's not going to be a new hardware device or new hardware peripheral or anything like that. They're lying. They're coming out with a Wii 3DSu times 2 or something like that. No, I think that there's going to, I don't know, maybe something to connect the 3DS to the Wii U or something like that. I don't know,
they said something along the line of the Nintendo Fusion, I think was the patent. That people believed that was going to happen. Do you remember that story?
Yeah, I don't remember like all the details though. So,
okay, I think that's been circulating around. If I have to pick 3 offshoot E3 predictions, I think we could probably eventually just do a whole prepared podcast and make it a segment. We'll do that
closer
right
to the
before.
time, yeah. And then we'll do an emergency podcast after probably all the press conferences, the major ones.
Just stack up who's right. I think Sony is... let me start with Xbox. I think Xbox is going to release a $400 model of Xbox One. I think it's going to be without the Kinect.
I don't know why I didn't think about that.
And, you know, that's going to be to target the audience. I think they're going heads in with trying to beat out Sony. Let me think. Nintendo, they're absolutely, in my head, going to be showing Legend of Zelda. If they don't do that, they are crazy at this point.
Yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that because they have they officially revealed Zelda Wii U or anything like that?
No, they had that one tech demo.
Yeah, see, that's what I thought. It was just a demo or a tech demo.
That was beautiful what they showed. So I really can't wait to see what they're doing. Did you see the Temple of Time video?
No, I don't think I did.
Someone we've been talking about Temple of Time a lot, but someone created, just like a fan, created Temple of Time on the Unreal Engine 4, and just put it out there on YouTube, like different shots of it, and it looks awesome in HD, so I can't wait for that. As for Sony, yeah, this one's hard. I think that they're gonna make a more official announcement about Morpheus. We might actually see some sort of indication of when they may reveal it, or may put it out into the market.
That'd be interesting. So, like, do you have any predictions on that, when it might be?
If they do, it's no sooner than 2016.
Yeah, that's solid. It's a few years out, probably, at the very least. Okay, so Brendan, here comes Star Wars. Every console ever.
Well, that actually has whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, that happened.
Yeah.
That's not even a prediction.
But I mean, like, Star Wars 9000.
9000?
9000, the updated HD ×2 gaming.
Of course not, you silly goof.
Okay, so, what do you got?
For Xbox, yeah, they're going to freaking drop the Kinect just because they've been having a lot of problems.
Drop the Kinect, yes.
That's
man. That would be admitting defeat.
No, I think it'd be not just admitting defeat, it'd be listening to your, consumers.
Consumers, yeah, like they should have done all along. Well, they kind of did, just really slow. Okay, so.
For Nintendo, You see, they're going to announce a new Legend of Zelda.
So you're totally following Lou on everything so far.
Oh, yeah. He has really good ideas, of course.
Okay.
And for Sony, they're going to announce that Uncharted 4 is going to be musical.
Musical? Oh, man. And the fan base is pissed. I would be so pissed.
Hey, Nolan North can belt out a few songs.
Yeah, he's got a hell of a voice.
And ergo, Nathan Drake can sing as well.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome having Nathan Drake sing.
It's like when Batman sang.
So I'm thinking Brendan's gonna win on these predictions.
Just because I copied Lou.
Because you copied him and then made an awesome PlayStation 1. Okay, so next question, not really a question. Sean, one of our writers, he said, Courtney, you should have a call to action about your Twitch channel. So, I got banned from Twitch this past weekend while I was streaming Outlast. I was drinking and playing it with my girlfriend, and so we got up to 102 viewers, and right when we got up to 102 viewers, all of a sudden our viewers started saying, oh my god, you've been banned, oh my god, you've been banned, oh my god, you've been banned, and then the screen went blank and it said, you've been banned from Twitch. And then I got an email from them saying, you've been banned from Twitch for blah, 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 blah. It gave me a giant list of reasons why I could have been banned. And so I immediately emailed them and I asked them, why have I been banned? Is there anything we can do? I use this for streaming games for my website, blah, 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 blah. They have not got back to me. It's been, 5 days since then. Pretty pissed off, but we started a Twitter campaign. So everybody, I would appreciate it if you go onto Twitter and you tweet at Twitch. You tweet them hashtag free Courtney on Twitch. And then you could also, tag me in it at Osborne_2009. And give them a reason, he's awesome, he runs Mong, I don't care. Say I suck, I don't care. Just say anything, but hashtag free Courtney on Twitch.
It's fun to watch him suck.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun to watch me die and Outlast and scream like a little girl. So it was really, really strange situation. And I doubt that this Twitter campaign will work, but it's fun.
For the record,
it's fun to try.
Courtney's having an all-around bad week on social media. The Lou Cantaldi Sucks Twitter, which he made last time, also got taken down.
How do you know I made this? Like, why are you saying I made it? I know I said I was going to make it on the podcast.
Well, it's either between you or between Reggie. And I think Reggie's busy at the moment, so I'm going to say it's you.
I was sad to see that went.
Yeah. But
why did it get banned?
Probably because it copied everything of mine, short of the actual tweets themselves.
I was gonna say the only thing it copied of you actually was that your picture, and it just changed the background to red. I think a lot of the other stuff was different.
Yeah, I don't know. I would imagine that.
I think you reported it. I think Lou was like, this is defamation or whatever. Defamation.
This is libel and slander.
It's like, I cannot have this on the interwebs. I need to get rid of this. And so Lou dropped the ban hammer and reported it.
He kind of threatened them that if they didn't take it down, he'd sue for intentional infliction of emotional distress.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
Using all those big words and stuff. His law degree. Or upcoming law degree or something.
More or less.
But so since I'm not on Twitch right now, you can find me on Ustream. I'll tweet out links and stuff like that. But Ustream is not nearly as good. I'm sorry. I love Twitch. Ustream was not fun. Anyway, so let's move on. Do you have any other questions? I didn't get any other questions submitted anywhere.
You didn't get anything on the Beyond page?
No, those are the two I got. And then I already mentioned the one earlier about Bound by Flame. So I gave my really quick... Oh, here's a new one. Okay, Sledgehammer is producing one of the biggest titles in gaming. After the trailer, how do you feel about it? Blah. We already talked about that. So, Ryan Zeno? Yeah, so if you've listened this far, you've already heard what we said about the next Call of Duty game. So let's just go ahead and move on and wrap up. Let's get to our game releases this week. On the PlayStation devices, on PlayStation 3, we have Sports Fiends, And then Hakuoki, Stories of Shinsengumi, which is, I believe, a virtual or visual novel or whatever, just like Danganronpa and everything like that.
Danganronpa.
And then Bound by Flame. And then on PlayStation 4, MLB 14 The Show, Sports Fiends, Stick It to the Man, ! And Bound by Flame.
You can get Stick It to the Man, for the record, right now on if you have PlayStation Plus. So go ahead and download. I already downloaded to the PS4.
Oh, nice. And then on Vita, we have the God of War collection. And then if you buy the special package deal or whatever, the collection deal, you can get Borderlands 2 this week. It actually comes out next week by itself, but if you get the Vita version or the Vita package, you can get it with it.
The Vita Slim.
Yes, the new Vita. All right. Brendan, the Xboxes.
The hit sequel Peggle 2.
Ooh, on what?
The Xbox 360.
Okay.
Also Bound by Flame, and for the Xbox One, just The Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, there you go. Now, for everybody who has asked a bajillion times everywhere, and I've answered a bajillion times everywhere, there is no Xbox One version of Bound by Flame. The reason why, Microsoft had really crappy indie policies back when Bound by Flame started its development. So Spider Studios made a executive decision not to develop for it. And by the time Microsoft changed their policies around, Spider Studios did not want to delay the release for all other consoles just so they could play catch up and release a Xbox One version also. And so they just decided to work on all other versions and leave out the Xbox One. So for the foreseeable future, there will be no Bound by Flame on Xbox One, but that doesn't mean there won't be one in next year. Or
I have a question.
This year.
Bound by Flame, Spider Studios. That's an indie developing and producing company?
Yes, they're a very small French developer. They, I think, like 12 to 40 people on staff, depending on what time of year, where they are in development, stuff like that. Very small. And then their publisher is Focus Interactive, and they are an indie publisher. So
that's really interesting. I really don't see. It's a full game, right? $59.99.
It's $49.99. It's $50.
Okay.
$50 on every console other than PC. PC, it's $40, I believe.
But still, that is a high price for an indie game, and I'm sure it meets up to its expectations.
Yeah, it's without ruining the review, it doesn't feel like an indie game. It feels like a solid, AAA fantasy RPG should be. It's, I don't know. So yeah, awesome. All right, and then PC, Brendan?
PC, there is Full Bore, Flockers. Oh, that sounds...
Flockers?
Little Flockers, yes. Raven's Cry, Tesla Effect, A Tex Murphy Adventure.
Whoa.
Spark Rising, 1849, Swipe Cart? What is that?
Probably no idea. I have nothing.
Probably no idea.
Well. Bound by Flame, that might be a new game that we might talk about later.
Yeah, we might talk about that a little bit later. Or we already have, whatever.
No, we haven't.
We haven't? No, okay.
Or Coldfire Keep.
Ah, yeah. So, okay. Nintendo, Lou?
I always have the easiest job here.
Oh.
Wii U has nothing.
Nothing.
And 3DS has Grinsia.
Which I have no idea what that is.
No clue.
No clue. Okay. All right. Well, that wraps up episode 32 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast. Our normal spiel, we record on Wednesday nights and we release on Thursday mornings. We always ask that you submit questions or comments or anything like that. You can email us at mong.podcast@gmail.com, or you can comment on any of the threads on Facebook. You can reply on Twitter. You can comment on our stories on the website at middleofnowheregaming.com. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter at Middle of Nowhere Gaming Mong on Facebook and at MONG Podcast on Twitter. Oh, man. Like I said, it was last week's podcast. We added a bunch of new writers. We broke our record in stories last week. I believe we had 52 stories go up during that 1 week. I think it was 52. And we're already on pace to break that record this week. So we have a lot of reviews, a lot of news stories, a lot of editorials going up every day now. So be sure and check it out and tell all your friends about it. Blah, blah, blah. Find us on iTunes, Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast, all the good stuff. And then you can find us all on Twitter. You can find me at Osborne_2009. You can find Brendan at
Brendan Jester.
And you can find Lou at
Lou Cantaldi.
Sucks. Lou Cantaldi sucks.
Rest in peace.
Rest in peace. That was good times while it lasted. All right. Talk to you all again next week.
Mong.